Hi, my name is Michael Boldin. I'm the founder of the 10th Amendment Center, which you can find online at 10thamendmentcenter.com. As the founder of the organization, I'm often asked the basic question, which is, why the 10th Amendment? What does it do? Why should we care? And I really think that that's just what normal people like you and I were asking so many years ago, back in the 1790s, when this amendment was originally ratified. The way I look at it, though, the answer is really quite simple. The people of that day, just like so many of us today, recognized that a government of strictly limited powers would be the only one that would ever have a chance of ensuring or protecting our liberty. And that's just the kind of government that the people created when they ratified the Constitution. The 10th Amendment, in my view, is really the final stamp on that Constitution, the exclamation point. And it lays out in plain English that we're supposed to have a federal government of strictly limited, enumerated, listed powers, powers that are listed in the Constitution. And I think that that's pretty much opposite of what we've ended up with. We've got a government now, and for many years, that in so many different ways is nearly unlimited and unchecked in its activities. The 10th Amendment, especially working in conjunction with the 9th Amendment, really makes it clear to us that it was the people who created the federal government to be their agent for certain enumerated purposes and nothing more. It wasn't created by itself, and the federal government wasn't created by the states. It was created by the people. And while I don't always recommend looking to the Federalist Papers for everything constitutional, I think Federalist number 22, which I believe was written by Alexander Hamilton, sums this position up quite clearly. And if you don't mind, I'll read just a short passage of it. And Hamilton writes, "The fabric of American empire ought to rest on the solid basis of the consent of the people. The streams of national power ought to flow immediately from that pure original fountain of all legitimate authority." I think that really just sums up the way things are supposed to be. The source of all power should be from the people, and the governments, whether state or federal, should just be acting as the agents of the people. And whenever power comes from a different source, it's really illegitimate and therefore unconstitutional. And only when we, the people, regain that power over this government that's supposed to be our agent, only then will liberty and prosperity ever flourish in this country. So this movement that so many people talk about, this 10th Amendment movement, this state sovereignty movement, it really isn't about just sending new politicians to Washington, D.C. It isn't about just getting more power in the hands of state governments instead of the federal government. It's about something much bigger. It's a sea change in our way of thinking, in the way that government is supposed to run at its very basic level. And John Adams, when he talked about the original American Revolution, he really put it quite well, and I can just paraphrase, but he said that the American Revolution wasn't just about the war with England. It was a long process, a changing in the hearts and minds, the viewpoints of the people, and how they viewed their role in society, especially in relationship to their government. And this is something that I see this movement today, this 10th Amendment movement, is touching on as well. We see a complete change in the way people are taking action, whether it's left, right, or center. They're not always going to the federal government for every concern. They're starting to look more towards state and local levels. And this is bringing us back to what the 10th Amendment is all about. It's the true core of what it means to be America, and it's the true core of what it means to be American. That the legitimate source of all power is not in government. It rests with we, the people. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to listen to me ramble on. I hope you'll check back with my next video message sometime in the next week or so, and please do stop by the site. I thank you for all your comments, your feedback, and the like, and we'll see you over at 10thamendmentcenter.com in the near future.